Okay, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do keyframes. I'm going to try and make this as easy and as quick as possible. So, to add a keyframe, let's do opacity and volume. Opacity is transparency, so typically if you don't have this white line on the clip, that's what we're going to be keyframing. You're going to right click, show clip keyframes, opacity, and you can see it's marked, so I can see it. If you cannot see it with volume, you're gonna right click, show clip keyframes, volume, and level, which is obviously it's clicked. Now what you want to do to add a quick keyframe, if you hold down control, so the control key on Windows, and I believe it is the command key on Mac, you'll see if you hover over the white line, it changes. And here we have the plus sign come up, and that shows you that I'm going to add a keyframe at this specific spot. So why would you want a keyframe? We're going to go here. Let's say that we want, let's go maybe over here somewhere. Doesn't matter. In this part. Let's say I'm going to add a keyframe here, and I'm going to add another one over here. And now I can change the attribute of opacity. Now, what exactly do I mean by that? So here, opacity is at 100%, so you can see it. If I drop the opacity to 0, right, you're not going to see anything, and it goes away. And so as I keep going here, opacity will go from 0 to 100%. Within about 4 or 5 seconds. So essentially it will fade in the clip, such like that. Let me go and put this back up there. Now you have the freedom to keyframe anything and everything you want. And as you can tell, the keyframes also appeared up here as well within your effects controls. If you do not see effect controls, you can go to Window and make sure you have it turned on. Now, this little stopwatch is the keyframe button, essentially. Let me undo the keyframes, and we're going to do it over here. Okay, so we're going to come here, right? We're going to add a keyframe. We're going to go over here and add another keyframe, and now you can add one and remove one with this button, and it at once. It's so easy. Add or remove with this button. And so you can go to the previous keys with this, and just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to add one here so I can show you. So I can go to the next keyframe or the previous keyframe you utilize in this button. So here's at 100%. In this keyframe, we're going to have it dip down to 0. And then we're going to have it go back up to 100%. So, as you can tell, over here as well, it'll dip to 0 and back up. Such as that. Kind of wonky. Obviously not going to keep that, so let's go ahead and Control Z to remove it. So you can add keyframes to position as well, position and scale. So, this clip, let's say I wanted to change the scale. Scale is the size, right? Either small, large, medium, however long, you know, whatever you want to mess with it, essentially. I'm going to add a keyframe here, go forward, add another keyframe, then go forward and add a third one. Now, what we're going to do here is from this keyframe to this one, we're going to have a zoom in. So to zoom in, this is 100% scale, meaning that it fills the entire frame. Now, for purposes, let me just show you. If I go to 50% scale, it'll be half the size. Just like that. If I go up again, just like that. Now, if I want to double in scale, obviously doubling will be 200. It'll be zoomed in. And so now let's see how that looks. So it goes from this to zoomed in back to regular. So let's see. So it zooms in and zooms out. You can do this essentially to any attribute. Let me Control Z that, Command Z on Mac. Anytime you see this stopwatch, sorry, you can keyframe any of the attributes, any of them. For example, let's say I go to video effects and I introduce a distort. Let's do, I don't know, let's do twirl. Twirl's pretty fun. So I'm just gonna click and drag the twirl over here and I can add an effect. Now, nothing's happened. But as soon as I change the angle, you can see it twirling. Now, notice how when I do that, it doesn't continue to twirl. The twirl doesn't change. Now, what I can do to have some fun with it, essentially, I'm going to Control Z that. I can keyframe the twirl effect. So, keyframe twirl there, come over here, add a keyframe, and then I'm going to change it. Also, let me show you this, a quick way to do this. Notice how I haven't pressed this button yet. The moment that I change this attribute, it'll automatically, thank you, Adobe Premiere, it'll automatically change it. So, watch. So, we're just going to click and drag. So, I left click and I drag it, and I can change the twirl effect. And notice, Premiere automatically added a keyframe anytime I change the attribute. So the moment I press this, right, we're going to try it with twirl radius. If I press it and go to a different time, if I change it, again, I'm left click and drag, it'll automatically add the keyframe. Right? So we get some weird effects. It kind of weirdly goes with it since we have these violins playing. But anyways, let me Control Z that. And that's how you add a keyframe. You can do it to audio, you can do it to video, anything and everything. Like here I'm fading out the audio. Here I'm fading this audio in. Fading out this audio clip, I'm fading that one in just so we get a nice smooth transition and that sort of thing. Alrighty, that's how you add a keyframe.